Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler. Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Talk. We are on episode 81.
81?
We are here tonight to do a live spoiler talk for The Equalizer, numero tres. I'm here with my co host AJ Reacts to what is going on, brother?
Yes, sir. I am good. I saw this movie today, so I'm ready to talk about it. Yep.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot to talk about today. It was a very slow week for
hmm
news. Um, so, without further ado, let's get into our show. Starting off with our first of two trailers for this evening, The Exorcist Believer, trailer number 2. For those that don't know, Exorcist Believer is a reboot of The Exorcist, directed by David Gordon Green, who previously killed Halloween, and is now attempting to reboot The Exorcist because we needed the reboot of The Exorcist because it worked so well in 2004. Um, I did not like the first trailer at all. I thought it looked generic as dishwater and was just not good. I wasn't even gonna watch this trailer, but I was like, you know what? Maybe they will change my mind. I don't know. I don't want to say they changed changed my mind on it, but I gotta acknowledge a good trailer when I see one, and I dug this trailer for what it was. The main thing I will say I like about this trailer is it wasn't so in your face and flashy. And what I mean by that is in the first trailer, I didn't like how the demon voice sounded. It sounded very over the top and like the sound was cranked up to 11 and it didn't sound weird or it sounded weird. When you hear the demon in this trailer, it sounds like a demon and it sounded creepy. I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. Um, and I don't know. There was some really cool stuff in this trailer, and I was like, okay, it wasn't bad. Did they show the whole movie? More than likely, yeah. But this is Blumhouse. I'm not surprised. Well, this is Universal, I should say. Universal spoils their movies a lot. Um, but I'm not really excited for this movie. I am gonna see it day one. I got my tickets for IMAX, which is pretty dope. I am excited to see. I get excited when horror movies are in IMAX. It's too bad Evil Dead wasn't in IMAX. That would have been amazing.
I didn't
Uh,
even get to see that in Dolby. Crazy.
I got to see Halloween Ends though in IMAX.
Ah, yeah. Well, there you go. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I didn't see this trailer. I didn't watch the second one, but I I can't relate to the first trailer. I thought that the tone is there, and every time I think about it or see that first trailer, I dig it more and more. It's definitely has that tone that I'm looking for. It does have that reach for nostalgia. They have Reagan's mom there. They have the original score coming back, and even like towards the beginning of well, maybe not towards the beginning, but like in the middle of the trailer, they do like a couple notes of the theme, and it's kind of like, oh, and then they kind of go into it
Yeah,
all the way towards the end of the trailer.
the second trailer doesn't do that. The second trailer, it's more focused, and I kind of like that. At the end, it cranks that shit up to full blast. But
hmm
I don't know. I don't think this movie's going to be bad per se. I don't see myself giving it anything higher than a 3.5. And if I give it a 3.5, that means that it was like actually genuinely good. But like,
hmm
I don't know, the exorcism genre just don't do it for me, bro. And I don't even think it does it for anybody anymore.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we about to go see the Nun in a couple days.
Tomorrow,
So
well,
you
I
seeing
ain't
it
seeing it
tomorrow, and I'm
tomorrow.
seeing
Yeah,
this, and that's kind of the same vibe, same feel. So I don't know. You recently went through all the Exorcist movies leading up to Exorcist Believer,
I did.
and you loved them, right?
No, yeah. That's about 4.5 hours I'll never get back of my life.
But it
But
was it was some elements to the movies that you liked, right?
there's nothing I liked in two. Three
No, no,
is
two was bad.
genuinely amazing and I think
Hmm.
so underrated. But
Hmm.
like the prequels, it's like the only thing I could really commend is the acting. And it's not even in the beginning one, it's Dominion.
Hmm.
But bro, there's a shot. I gotta send you a clip of it on YouTube. There's a shot of CGI in Dominion that's so bad. I had to
Mm.
rewind it.
Mm.
It's so bad. It's like somebody there's a face that comes onto somebody else, and it flashes and then it goes back, and
Mm.
it's so bad. I was
Sounds
like,
terrible.
oh, it's bad. It's bad. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I just when movies like this get the treatment of, oh, it's the first of a trilogy, immediately I'm just like, well, that means that more than, unless it's anthology, which they haven't told us, which I personally want, more than likely these characters aren't dying.
Yeah, they're
Reagan's
gonna
mom
be.
is probably toast, but
I don't know. I don't know. We
like
said that about Sydney. We
the
thought
mom and
Sydney
the
was done
dad,
too.
they're probably gone, bro.
Yeah,
And to be fair about Scream, we didn't know that they were gonna do more after that. We
it's
had thought
true.
that they were just gonna do this one,
It's true.
but I don't know. It was the same thing with Halloween. They had announced kills and ends coming out back to back, and we were like, well, these twerps aren't dying. I mean, they killed Karen, but I mean, spare me the fucking tears of Karen being alive or dead in fucking Halloween.
Is that a water
You
bottle of
know?
tears?
Yeah, bro. I'll drink those salty tears because I don't know. But if you guys have seen either trailer for Exorcist Believer, let me know what you guys thought of it. Are you guys excited for a new Exorcist movie
I
from
won't say that I'm
Blumhouse?
excited for the film, but I am mildly intrigued. So
Two exorcism movies back to back months. Which
yep.
one will be more mid? Watch The Nun be the genuinely better movie.
I don't know. We'll see.
Moving on. No One Will Save You trailer review. So I need to do a bit of explaining for this one. So for those who don't know, this is a movie that is coming out in 2 weeks in September on Hulu. This is a 20th Century Studios produced film. This is directed by Brian DeField. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. He wrote that. Now his credits aren't the greatest, but he wrote the screenplay for the Divergent series, Insurgent, not good. He wrote The Babysitter. It it started out better than it ended, but Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart. And then Love and Monsters, which is a movie I actually really liked.
Movie's good.
Um, but this is his directorial debut.
Hmm.
Um, and he's writing this movie as well too. And this movie stars Caitlin Dever. She was in Booksmart.
Love
Man,
Caitlin
most
Dever.
people, yeah, most people will know her from Booksmart.
Yeah.
I looked at her and I was like, I know your face, but I've never seen anything you're in.
Yeah, she's also in a show I watched called Justified. She was in season 2. Fantastic actor. She was actually in a comedy called Last Man Standing with Tim Allen
Mm-hmm.
too. Yep.
So this is basically, to give you the short version, this is an alien invasion movie. And I didn't know what this was. Literally, I saw the trailer pop up and I was like, oh, it's the 20th Century Studios movie. Okay, I'll click and watch it. And the trailer started out, and the trailer even says, like, oh, there have been like a million home invasions, but nothing like this. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay. And you see like the door open, and you see this thing, that whatever, creeping through the house. And I was like, oh, it's a horror movie. Okay.
Hmm.
And then they show like, oh, there's daytime, and there's like these people that are like fucked up. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then you see these huge aliens chasing after this girl, they look fantastic. And I'm just like, yo, what the? And then out of nowhere, they just start showing all this crazy shit. She's like getting beamed up from her house and all that. I was like, yo, what the hell? And and then I find out, oh yeah, this movie comes out in 2 weeks. I haven't heard nothing about this movie. All I know is that it's an alien invasion movie. It comes out in 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
I need more stuff like this. Now, to be fair, there are movies I find out that are coming out in 2 weeks, and I'm like, that looks awful. But in this case, I'm like, yo, give me more of this stuff, bro. I don't think anyone knew this movie was coming out, and then
No.
it looks this good. Like, bro, I was saying how I'm like, this is kind of what Nope should have been like. Truth be told.
Yeah.
But what I sent man, I sent this to everyone I know, but I sent this to the Nerd Talk group chat. I
Yo,
sent this to my
he
other
said,
group chat. I sent this to
yo,
my dad. I was
he
like,
sent
yo,
this.
I sent this to my other friends. I'm like, yo, this movie looks fire, bro.
Yeah. I got that text last night. He said, y'all need to watch this. And I was like, bro, what is Tyler on, bro? So I watched it this morning, and this trailer looks bananas. It looks intense.
Literally.
It looks wild. I don't know. This is like, it seems like a teaser because they don't really give any kind of story away or anything.
Yes and no. The reason I say no is because they very much didn't tease or show a story. But I feel like at the end, and that this was my one little nitpick with the trailer, I did feel like they showed a little bit too much
Hmm.
because they were doing a good job teasing the aliens or whatever, and then they showed them chasing the girl, and I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. But I kind of wish I didn't see like them beaming her up, and I think they
Hmm.
showed her in a ship or something too.
Hmm.
I was like, I wish I didn't see that. I wish I would
Hmm.
have seen that for the first time in the movie.
That
But
feels third actish.
yeah,
Hmm.
I was at a point. I was like, all right, all right, all right. That's a little too much. I don't
Hmm.
want to see that much.
Yeah, it's a lot of like montage, like intense montage stuff going on in the trailer, and it looked dope. I don't know, if I'm gonna really watch it or like that, but it looks really intense. I don't know. Hope it's good.
Nah, what day does this fall on? This falls on a Friday. Best believe if I'm not opening it for work that day, best believe I'm waking up early to watch that. Because that movie looks it looks really, really good and fresh too. It doesn't look like I didn't watch the trailer and I was like, I've seen this before.
Hmm.
It looks like something that could be at best like just a really fun alien. It looks scary. That's the thing
Hmm.
too. Like it looks scary. Like you heard the sounds of the aliens and all that. I was like, ooh,
Hmm.
I do think it's a little CGI heavy. When the alien was chasing her, you
Yeah,
could definitely
you
tell it
could
was
definitely tell.
CGI.
Yeah,
But granted, it's at night, so
it
probably not going to
was.
complain about it too much.
Yeah, it was dark, and I think that's very strategic in a lot of movies. You know how
Little
CGI.
Mermaid.
Yeah, a lot of movies are like that. When things are dark, you could use CGI and kind of like cover up some things. So yeah, definitely Little Mermaid was like that,
Wonder Woman 84. Although
bro.
they they unfortunately had good lighting for that sequence.
Right?
You could see Cheetah.
It's like it should have got darker. Should have been darker. But
Somebody hit the light bulb.
do it now.
um, what the fuck was that song? Oh, I I I'm more interested in the daytime stuff with all those dudes because they were like
Hmm.
messed up. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
what kind of
yeah.
world
Her
is this?
neighbors. It looked like her neighbors, or like people she knew.
Because it looks like figure out what movie. There's a movie where it's like, oh, you can't go out at night. There's a lot of movies like that, but there's like a really specific one where it's like you can't go out at night because there's creatures outside.
Hmm.
I can't remember what it is. Somebody
I
remembers
just
it.
watched. I just watched the show like that. It's called From. It's
Well,
creatures outside.
the, this isn't really like that, but the Maze Runner is like that. When the
Mm,
maze closes, the grievers come out. Here's your
mm.
reminder. the Maze Runner movies are criminally underrated. Oh, Death Cure and Scorched Trials are bad. Bite me. I like all three. Okay,
Hmm.
um, but I'm really excited for this. I wish it was dropping in October. That would have been great. This looks like the perfect October. Who knows? They dropped Hellraiser around the same time last year, and that was a banger. So maybe Hulu will have another banger coming into October. But if you guys have seen it, and probably no one did, please go see this trailer. This movie genuinely looks really good and deserves more attention than it's gotten. Um, Moving on to probably the thing I'm the most excited to talk about, more than the actual movie we're talking about. Ahsoka Episode 4. So for those who have not seen Ahsoka Episode 4, please, for the love of Jesus, hop off this video. Because this episode was spoiler filled to the brim. And
It
I don't
was.
want anyone to be spoiled, although by 6 a.m., my feed was blown up. But not even 6 a.m., 10 p.m., because the episodes come out at 9. Thank you.
Mhm. You
Uh,
watched it? Did you watch it last night?
how
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
Um, yeah, my feed by 10:30, 11 o'clock, all I saw was the end.
Yeah,
Um,
probably the
so
biggest part of the episode. Not the
so yeah,
best, but the biggest.
please go watch this episode and then come back to this live stream. So
Mhm.
episode 4 of Ahsoka. I said last week this episode was going to be a banger. I said coming out of last week, I said they're gonna be on this planet the whole
Mhm.
time and they're gonna be going after them. I'm like, yeah, this episode is gonna pop off. Not only did this episode pop off, this was without a doubt the best episode of the whole show so far.
Mhm.
This was
Out of the four. Yep.
this might be one of the best episodes of Star Wars TV we've gotten, period.
Whoa. Don't be too hasty now. Don't be
I,
too hasty.
I mean that shit.
Mando season 3 finale? Come on now. What?
I was thinking about that. I said it might be on that level. This
Wow.
was I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the third act of a movie right now, bro. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So last week we ended they were we can go beat for beat in this episode because that literally we got this and the Equalizer. So
Mhm.
I'm willing to go beat for beat in
Yeah.
this
Let's
episode.
do
So
it.
picked
Let's do
up
it.
we picked up Sabine, Ahsoka, Hu Yang. They were all trapped. And Hu Yang was trying to fix the ship, and they got attacked by the droids. The Sith. They sent the droids. They found their
Mhm.
location, and while the whole episode, the Sith were trying to get the pathway to Thrawn through this orb thing.
Yeah. The map.
And I like that the whole episode was built around that. I really
Mhm.
like that. Something that this show is doing a great job at is establishing what the goal is for
Yeah.
every episode from the word go.
Yeah. They're
And
really keeping focused.
I
They are.
really like that too. Someone was like, we're 4 episodes in, we haven't had a single episode of filler. I love that. Um, so the droids go after them. We get a nice action sequence. We see Sabine trying to yeah, use the force, but she's using Mandalorian style. I'll say this about Sabine: if she was ever a fighting character in the game, she'd be one of the most broken characters in the whole game because you got her Mandalorian fighting style, and then you got her as a Padawan size Jedi, bro. Like
Yep.
Jesus,
Using
I
the
wouldn't want to
force.
be going up against her. Jeez.
Yeah.
Um, but they take out these droids, pretty nice action sequence, and then they say we're gonna go after the map. Stay here and fix the ship. And
Mhm.
then we
Just
get
waiting.
basically we just got lightsaber battles for 40 minutes. And I mean, you're asking me if I'm gonna complain about lightsaber battles for 40 minutes. Good lightsaber battles
They
at
were
that
good.
40
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. They were definitely
So
good.
we got Sabine and Shin. Her name is Shin, which
Mhm.
is if I was a Sith and I had the name of Shin, I'd be glad that I was a badass Sith. I'm gonna say that. Because as soon as somebody makes fun of my name, I'd be kicking their ass, of what Shin can do. So we got Shin and Sabine round 2. of which I do think there will be a round 3, and that's when Shin is
Oh yeah,
toast.
for sure.
But
Probably towards the end of the season. Yeah,
but
the
we
series.
got this lightsaber fight, and Sabine got some more hits in this time. She was
Hmm.
switching again from Mandalorian to Jedi. It was great. You saw her try to use the Force, and Shin
Hmm.
just shook it off. She was like, "Man, forget this."
Yeah, she
Um,
actually trained
yeah, and
Shannon.
she pulled a Batman. She threw the bomb and disappeared,
Hmm.
which I
The
was like,
smoke
okay.
bomb, yo, the smoke bomb.
Which
She
I
was
was
she was
like,
getting a little nervous towards the end of that fight.
yeah,
She
she
was.
was.
Hmm.
She was absolutely. I absolutely agree with this statement, especially
Hmm.
the Sith, because I felt like the only Sith we had in the sequel trilogy was Kylo Ren, and they dropped the ball on his character. As good as Adam Driver was in that movie, in those
Yeah.
movies. Um. So then we got um Ahsoka throwing down with the Inquisitor, and this is the one disappointment I
Skull.
had with this episode. So for those who don't know, we were theorizing for weeks, I guess, that this Grand Inquisitor was going to end up being Star Killer from Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, the video game. They were going to
Oh,
finally make
you're talking about
the
Merrick.
ninja dude.
Merrick. Oh, with the mask.
Yeah.
Got you.
And first of all, I liked how he had his lightsaber on his back. It reminded me of Tron for some
Mm.
reason.
Hmm.
But that was pretty sick. First of all, this fight was fantastic. I was
It's a
like,
really good fight.
I was sitting here like, man, Ahsoka's throwing down. He's got a double blade, and she's only using one lightsaber. I was like, why would you do that? I mean, I guess she knows better than me because she won the fight. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I was like, you got two lightsabers, you better use both of them. But most people were theorizing this. I saw one person say they thought it was gonna be Cal from Jedi Fallen Order. I was like, that makes no
No,
sense.
that would not work
Someone was like,
at
"Oh,
all.
maybe it's a clone." I'm like, "No, stop
No,
it.
don't do
I
that.
don't need that."
Don't do that.
Um,
No,
but
but I wasn't really loving the action and the choreography up into this episode, and they really proved something with this episode for me. I was thinking, the choreography was a little stiff, like especially with episode 2, but with this episode, they proved me wrong for sure.
um, yeah, Brian. Apparently, the actor was who voices Starkiller or someone was like, "Yeah, I'm involved in the show. I just can't say what." And I,
Hmm.
I swear to you, I had thought it was going to be here because the title of the episode was Fallen Jedi. I saw that and I said, "Yo, I swear to you, if they reveal that he is Starkiller, I will flip out of my seat, bro." And
The
it's
episode name
not.
is oh,
He just
so let me look it
dies.
up.
She
Hmm.
cuts him and he disappears in the smoke. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
like he has like some green mist or something came out of him.
I was like,
What's with
well,
that?
I don't know. When that happened, I was like, well, fuck. Okay. But
He was just
I'm
some
not
random
mad.
bozo.
Yeah. And I'm not
Like,
necessarily mad that it wasn't Star Killer because most people will be mad about that. That's how we got into the whole Star Wars being a cult thing with the sequel trilogy and expectations and all that.
hmm,
But I'm not mad that it wasn't him. I'm just mad that it was some random bozo number 5
yeah,
off the what the hell is it called? The factory line that they put, they gave him a lightsaber. They're like, here, go fight.
right.
But it is what it is. I'm not totally mad about it. We got bigger things to worry about with this show. So Ahsoka runs to Ray Stevenson's character, and Ray Stevenson's character
Skull.
is great. Skull. He's great. He really
Hmm.
is. I love his
He was really
presence.
good. Yeah.
And this fight too was awesome. This was
Hmm.
great. Um, they do this stupid thing. I hate when they do this in shows or movies. They do this to the main character, and it's so dumb. They treat their audience like they're idiots.
With
He throws
the
so
cliff
this
thing.
fight leads to Ahsoka being thrown over a cliff, and they play it off so hard like she died.
Yeah.
I was like, Yes, because Ahsoka is gonna die in the Ahsoka show, right?
Right.
Just like Sonic is gonna die in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, right? It's like Iron Man is gonna die in the Iron Man movie.
Right.
So
The fake
dumb.
out doesn't work. It doesn't.
Not when it's the main character anyway. When it's a side character, I could believe it. Um, but so she gets thrown over, and Ray Stevenson's telling Sabine, "Listen, I'm about to fuck the galaxy, but you might be able to see your one and only friend you got left,
Hmm.
and that's your only family." And she was like, all right, bro, here you go. Do your
Hmm.
thing. Destroy the galaxy. I'll
Yep.
be all right. I'm gonna hold hands with Ezra, sing Kumbaya. It's gonna be all good.
I wasn't expecting that.
I kind of
I was
was.
I was expecting Sabine to fight.
Um, so they take her onto the ship, and that lady that's in red, is she a witch?
Yes,
I figured that.
she's a witch.
Um,
She uses witchcraft.
this episode, it just kept going. This episode was so good. I didn't even check how much time there was left in the episode. I was sitting there like I felt the end was coming, but I was like, I don't want to check it because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want it to end.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Hera, she shows up and she's got a whole fleet. I was like, oh shit. And they're like, oh, they're prepping the hyperspace. And she's like, man, just ignore them. They're going to move anyway. Well, they definitely moved, all right. They
Yeah.
jumped in the hyperspace and
Hyperspace.
plowed through them. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
And
it
of
was
course,
that dude from Mando.
yeah. Of course, every X-wing fighter pilot except him died because he's important, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, but they're on their way to Thrawn, I guess, which I don't know how
Hmm.
they're gonna find them because they destroyed the map. The orb. They destroyed the orb. So I don't know
Who
how
who destroyed the orb?
Ray Stevenson's character. Remember he destroyed it with the lightsaber.
Oh, okay.
Or Shin did. One of them destroyed it with the lightsaber.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, they destroyed the map. So I don't know how they're supposed to find Sabine and all of them. So
Thrawn.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I guess we'll figure that out. But then the episode ends with admittedly, this was a pretty cool transition. They showed the waves of the water, and then they transition into the worlds in between, which I was like, oh, that was a cool transition.
Hmm.
Um, and Ahsoka wakes up, and you hear the line that gave every single Star Wars fan a heart attack in their living rooms. You heard, "Hey Snips." I said, I was like, "Yo, no, 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 bro." She turned around. I see Aiden Christensen. I said, "Bro, oh, I love it. I love it." People want to say, "Oh, Star Wars only about cameos and the member berries." You know what? I don't give a shit. This was awesome. Okay, this is my childhood, bro. People shit on the prequels. That's my childhood, bro. I don't care. This was awesome. And this totally feels warranted and needed in the realm of it being a season 5 to Rebels. So I have absolutely no problems with this. Especially if you've seen Rebels. If you've seen Rebels and you're complaining about this, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because clearly you don't know what happens in that show if you're complaining about this. So, and it's especially going to be interesting when we get some questions that I'm sure she has, and I don't think she's gonna like the answers that she gets,
Yeah.
especially since she knows that he's Vader or he was Vader.
Hmm.
Rip Bozo and all that. But yeah, that was episode 4 of Ahsoka. I absolutely adored the shit out of this, and I am a little worried for next week's episode because normally when we get episodes like this where it's like, oh, somebody's in like heaven or something, or like they're having an epiphany, normally those episodes aren't great. But I don't know, that one episode of Moon Knight where they were like in the afterlife or something and they had to get back, that was awesome. So who knows, maybe they'll kill it with this.
Yeah, hopefully they're having a fan event for it. So,
Yes, I didn't mention that. So, for those who don't know, they are screening the fifth next week's episode. They are putting it in some movie theaters to watch on the big screen. I don't know why. I've never seen a show take one episode from the middle of the season and say, "Nah, we're gonna put it in a theater."
hmm
My theater's doing it. I don't. I'm probably not gonna go. Last thing I want to be is surrounded by a bunch of Star Wars geeks that don't know any better. But next week's episode is directed by Dave Filoni too.
hmm
So I don't know, bro. I saw that and I was like, yo, if they top this episode, I might actually pass out. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, this show is meh." Yeah, I would have seen ones telling me that Mandalorian season 3 was like the worst thing ever, and it really wasn't. Okay,
No,
so
it
I don't,
definitely wasn't.
I don't like listening to you because what Star Wars fans consider good television and content is not the same thing that I consider good TV and good content. So these are the same people telling me that Jedi Survivor was the best game of the year, of which it was not. So
I've yet to hear that one. That's a new one on me.
or
But
that
yeah,
that game is like a 10 out of 10 and one of the best Star Wars games ever. It is not.
no, it's definitely not. Um, I liked this episode. I thought it was good. Um, I think um we had hands pretty much the entire time. I am looking forward to next week's episode when we get into the meat and potatoes of, Ahsoka's psyche, and the she. It seems like she was a little bit tempted with the dark side this episode during the fight with Skull, and Vader showing, well, Anakin showing up to her. It might not be all good. It might not be all peaches and creams. It might be some Vader in there. Because we hear the Imperial
Yeah.
March theme when he comes through. So it might be some dark side coming for Ahsoka, but I don't think she's gonna give in. I'm excited to see that. That's what I'm pumped for.
I wonder if, being that we had got the Obi-Wan show, which it's crazy to think we had an Obi-Wan show a year ago,
hmm
of which no one talks about it anymore, which is a
I was
shame.
going I was going through that show, rewatching it. It's
Um,
good.
that show wasn't bad.
It's a good
People
show.
really, there were some misses, but I definitely really like that show. But
Me too.
um, being that we got Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader in that show, I wonder if we're going to see him as Darth Vader in this in between thing. Like if he shows that dark side, I wonder if we see him
In his
as Darth
suit,
Vader.
yeah, as Darth Vader. I can see that. I see that happening. I could
Because
definitely
it's
see that
like,
happening.
well, you did it in the Obi-Wan show and people liked it too. That's
hmm
the thing. People weren't like, oh, he's doing the poor James Earl Jones imitation. No, he sounded great as Darth Vader. So
I think James Earl Jones actually voiced him though. for
I don't think
for
so.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I mean, if
I
he
think that
did,
was the last one. I think that's the last uh rendition of his voice that they are gonna use.
um, but yeah, this was great. This was good stuff.
hmm
Brian, is this the best Star Wars show? That is a unfair judgment to make because one, the show is not complete yet. I will say I am enjoying this more than Mando season 3. I will say that.
Oh yeah, it's better than Mando season 3 so far, but to say that it's better than the
Oh, and
Mandalorian is
Book
hard.
of Boba
That's
Fett. It's definitely better than Book of Boba Fett. But
Is it better than Andor? Well,
I don't.
yeah. I would say I'm enjoying it more than Andor,
Hmm.
but I
You
don't
don't. You
know.
don't like Andor more. You don't like Andor the way everyone else does.
I don't. I don't. I think Andor is a little overhyped, but I did like it by the end of the series, or the end of the season. So
I still have not watched Andor because it bored me to tears. But I'll get back to it soon. Maybe
yeah,
maybe when season 2 comes
before
out, I'll have the. At this point, I don't know when that's coming out because of
yeah,
the strikes and
the
all that.
strikes.
But
Yeah.
If you guys saw Ahsoka episode 4, let me know what you guys thought. Let us know your theories and all that stuff because everyone's been throwing out theories and all that. Do you think we'll still see Star Killer? I don't know. Maybe we'll still see Star Killer. Who knows?
Maybe it's possible.
Moving on to our main topic for today, that is the Equalizer 3 spoiler talk. So once again, if you have not seen this movie, please leave the venue and come back when you have seen it. So we are not going to go play by play with this. We're just going to give you our opinions on the movie, talk about some of the highlights, what worked, what didn't work. Um, so right off the bat, sorry AJ, because I have a review already. Go check that out if you have not already.
Hmm.
AJ, what did you think of the Equalizer 3?
Um, I'm gonna start with my history with the franchise. I saw 1 and 2 in the theater. Enjoyed them. The first one I like more than two. Um, but with this franchise, I don't have a whole lot of stock in it. Like yes, I've seen the movies, but I haven't watched them like rewatched them as much, so I don't have like a whole lot of stock in them. So when episode the third movie got announced and we saw a trailer and all that, I was like, okay, this could be a nice little bow on top of the franchise. So that's kind of the mindset I had going into the movie. um, so I was went into the movie and like I was the beginning of the movie was awesome. I thought that opening sequence where you see the aftermath of everything that happened, and then he kind of goes and talks to the seemingly the boss or whatever, and he takes out those dudes in that room. Like that was definitely a way to open the movie, and it was dope. As the movie progressed, I kind of I didn't know what the movie was really about, so I caught on to what it was about. It was about him, finding a place to stay, find peace, after this life of riffraff, basically. Um, I felt like throughout the movie, I felt like they should have really honed in on those concepts. That concept, I felt like it kind of lost itself. It felt a little bland in a lot of areas. We got the villain maybe an hour or so in, and very half baked in my opinion. But by the end of the movie, it felt like this is. I really hope this is where they leave him. I really hope this is where they leave him. But yeah, those are my kind of brief thoughts of the movie.
Yeah, I watched these for the first time a couple weeks ago. I enjoyed the first one. Um, I thought it was pretty good. Third act is really fun, and I like the main story. The second movie is a freaking mess. It's not bad, but I think Pedro Pascal is actually terrible in that movie, and it's a
Mm.
shame to say that about Pedro Pascal. I don't think he's good in that movie at all. I didn't like his character. It wasn't for me. And that movie was really slow and took forever to get going. Um, and I didn't even like the main plot like that. I liked everything with Miles more than everything else in the movie.
Miles is his son, right?
No, the kid that was they vandalized the apartment and he's like, "Oh, paint the apartment and I'll pay
Oh
you."
yeah, yeah. He kind of like takes him under his wing a little bit.
I like all that. The scene where he gets him out of the gang is the best part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
I like that scene a lot. But yeah, I thought the second one was okay. So walking into this one, I really wasn't expecting much. I was just like, okay, it's a third Equalizer movie. Denzel's gonna be good in it because Denzel's Denzel. I actually walked out pretty surprised. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. Again, these movies are not great. They're not John Wick. Um,
Hmm.
I did not like this nearly as much as John Wick Chapter 4. But I enjoyed my time with this. I thought Denzel again was great. I thought the action was great. I thought the story was actually pretty nice. Um, and I actually really liked the characters in this movie for what they were.
Mm-hmm.
Not one that I'll talk about, but like his actual friends. I really liked them. I thought they were pretty good. Um, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this for what it was. Um, so after the opening sequence, it slows down, and this is the negative I can throw on all three of these movies. They are so slow in the
Yeah.
beginning, dude. I don't know what the hell it is. I understand the first movie. It's like, okay, you're establishing who he is and with that. Okay, whatever. But then the second movie does it too. And then this one too. I was sitting there like, yo, why are you so slow?
Yeah. I
It's like
com-
I'm
completely agree with that.
yelling at a turtle to move. Like, why are you so slow? Move it.
I,
It was just annoying.
I was definitely falling asleep. I'm not gonna lie, and I had to get up and get some snacks because right in the
Uh,
middle of this movie,
you know,
stretch my legs.
but I do like. I did find it interesting that they had the movie open with him being hurt because I was like,
Hmm.
that's a choice, okay. And he's kind of rebuilding himself, if you will, in this town. And I was like, okay, I don't hate that. And
Real quick, what did you think about the scene, the opening scene where he gets hurt and how he gets
oh,
hurt?
it was. I mean, the opening scene was great. I thought the kid missed
I did too. I couldn't tell, where he shot, and then
because
like he started sitting down, and I was
and
like, oh, he hit him.
And it's funny too because he shot, and I said to Kevin, I was like, "Dude, he was like 2 inches away from him. How did he miss?" I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "That kid must
it
have been
was
fucking blind."
it was his reaction to it to where you couldn't really tell that he got him because like he heard the shot and then he like started shooting everywhere, which was kind of funny to me. But and then he sits down and I'm like, oh, okay, he's hit.
Oh, the end of the movie already.
Yeah.
um,
No, I was actually thinking that was the end of the movie, and then they were gonna be like, oh, a few days earlier. That's what I thought the movie was gonna be like.
hate when they do that. Yeah, ooh, this is the beginning of the movie.
Hmm.
Um, but I do like him settling down and growing bonds with these people. I like how
Hmm.
he goes and he orders tea, and then they were like, "Oh, tea's for the little girls or for the old people. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?" And he's like, "Okay." And then he goes to another place and he gets his tea, which was funny.
Hmm.
Um, Denzel Washington, man, he's so good. He is. He
Hmm.
is he is without a doubt the reason all three of these movies are as good as they are. I was
Yeah.
watching this movie, I was like, Denzel Washington is basically a teddy bear with a Batman cape. That's what he is. Cause he's the nicest person in the world. But if you piss him off, he will fuck you up so hard
Yeah,
and make you regret it.
he said this is a level 3. You don't want to see it go to 4.
He's like, you gonna start shitting yourself.
I don't want
that
that. You don't want that. These people here don't want that.
that scene was great. I loved that scene where he was messing up the cop and he
Hmm.
backs up and you just see him there. I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, you done it now. He saw
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
Um, but man, the action in this movie is so good.
Yeah.
It is,
It is.
the action scene after that scene outside the restaurant. Did you see coming when he threw the truck at the dude and he
I
killed
did
him?
not see that coming. I did not see that coming. I was
I
actually
was-
like, I actually didn't really know what was about to happen. I thought they were gonna go after him, but
Me too.
bro,
Yo, that truck hit him. I said, "Oh!" I
yeah,
was like, "Yo!" That scene was absolutely wild, and he messed that one dude up too.
yeah. He whipped
Um,
out his switchblade. He said, "Oh no, you ain't."
I liked the villains in this movie. I did. I liked the first dude that he killed. I liked him. Yeah, he a little bland, yeah, but like
In the
his
beginning of the movie, or like the opening sequence, or are you talking
no,
about
the dude that he
in
kills
in
outside
the
the restaurant.
restaurant? Oh, okay.
I liked him, even though he was a little bland. I feel like in terms of a villain role, he did a good job. And then the main dude, I liked him too. For me, he's easily the best of the villains.
Okay.
To me,
I
I'll
I would say
remember him
I would
most.
say I can't relate. I really like the first villain in the first movie. Um, but yeah.
I really like that scene where they usher out the cop and he's about to kill his whole family, and
Hmm.
he comes out and he's like, "Oh, I've grown a bond with these people. You can't take that from me." And then they all start recording him, and they're like, "Oh shit, we got seen. Like we gotta go." I like that because they are
Hmm.
very in the shadows. You
Yeah,
know,
behind
I
the
like
scenes.
that.
Yeah. Mhm.
But you're gonna say something?
I was just gonna say that scene. I don't know if it was very believable to me. I felt like those people those people, like you said, work in the shadows, so they wouldn't want everybody out in the village or in the little town to come out and see their faces and stuff like that. They would have killed that man and left him in the street, like, and not, showing their faces and stuff. So I kind of was like, okay, that's a little far fetched, but all right.
Speaking of
Um,
killing people, that scene where they went into the nursing home and they threw that old man out the window and hung him. I was like,
mm,
yo.
mm-hmm,
I was
mm-hmm.
like, that was pretty wild. I was
Insane.
like, that was. It's like,
That was
okay.
some insane stuff. For real.
Um, Dakota Fanning, bro.
I knew he was going to come to this. Um,
So everyone was like, "Oh man, Man on Fire reunion, Man on Fire reunion." You know what wasn't on fire? The acting from Dakota Fanning. I'll tell you
it
that.
felt like that's all it was. It was like she's here because of that, and that's the
Yo,
only. And there's a line in the movie that they say several times where she's like, "Why am I here? Why am I here?"
yeah.
And I'm like, that's literally how I'm feeling right now. Like, why are you here? And
Um,
it's because of that. And
First of
I'm
all, it
like,
sounded like she smoked 8 packs of cigarettes before doing each take. I don't know what's going on with that, but
talk
yeah,
your talk, man.
she wasn't bad. PR movie elite, what's going on, brother? Um,
Yo,
I she wasn't bad, and I liked her relationship with Denzel. I did like the character relationship.
I
I
understand.
did.
I get
It's
you.
something we've seen 8,000 times,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, I can get behind this. It's just a lot of the times I was like, you trying to be funny and you're not. Shut up.
I think it was mainly the performance for me because the character was written well. Um, I also would have liked to seen them partner up a little bit more than they did. Like they kind of like exchanged information and knowledge and stuff like that, which I liked. But like seeing them actually team up would have been dope.
I
I
liked
don't.
the scenes where they were at the diner and they kept
Mm,
interacting. I like
mm-hmm.
those dialogue
Yeah, the
exchanges.
dialogue exchanges were good for them. I will say that.
I don't know. She just showed up and I was like, hmm, I don't know. Denzel's here and you're here, bro.
Yeah, that's true. And it like I said, it felt like, they wanted a Man on Fire reunion, and she seemed like she was just happy to be there, but it didn't feel like a true performance. Like we could have gotten such a more powerful performance from someone else, or I don't know. I feel like she might have been phoning it in. I don't know, man. I don't know what
It's
it
funny
was,
because
but
before this movie, we said, "Oh, what's Dakota Fanning been into?" Not a whole lot. I guess we got the answer as to why.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't know. She was I. She was
Yeah.
very I.
Yeah, I just wish it was a stronger performance. I feel like it would have been worked better.
The uh, the third act was very good, but again, the beginning and the third act for the Equalizer movies are all the same, and I don't like that because you get a slow build for a first act, and then the third act, there's really no payoff. He just walks in and fucks everybody up and
There's
walks out.
no, it was. I was like, is this the third act of the movie? Like he had the dude, by the neck and like chained up and stuff like that. I was like, this the movie about to end, and I was like, there's not. there's like hardly any substance here. I
That's
don't know
how I
what I
feel
was
watching all
expecting.
three though. Like all three third acts feel like that to me. Even two, when two, like two, I will say has some like great kills, like the harpoon kill. That shit is awesome. But like when he actually fights Pedro Pascal, spoiler alert, he just walks up there and fucking kills him, and then that's it.
Hmm
I remember watching it and being like, oh well, okay. It's
hmm
not like Pedro Pascal was an ex-military soldier or anything, but okay. I know
Yeah,
he is too, but it's like
yeah,
I
he
don't
had it
know.
in the bag.
But yeah,
I don't know.
this, I mean, this was entertaining. All the kills were good.
Kills
It
were
was
good.
just like,
I
oh,
can agree.
okay.
Yeah,
He was just messing with the final dude, and then he killed him.
and then also with Dakota Fanning's character, like there was a sequence where she was supposed to be brought somewhere. McCall calls her on the phone, and
Yeah,
and then she goes to go to the car or whatever, and there's a huge explosion. After that, she's done. Like she really don't really have nothing else to do with the
which
rest of the story.
she had the most plot armor I've ever seen. This lady was like a good 10 feet from that car, and all she had was like two cuts on her head. I was like, dude, you should have been stabbed with some.
Yeah, I will say that explosion that was kind of crazy, and
The scene itself was great.
seeing it in Dolby and the chair shaking and stuff like
Yeah, I
that,
saw the
it
too.
was crazy.
Yeah, I saw the
I kind of didn't expect it. I knew something crazy was gonna happen, but I didn't expect that to happen, and that was wild.
um and then the part of this movie I actually really liked was the end twist, if you will, where
Hmm
they reveal that Dakota Fanning is the daughter of his friend that got murdered in two. I was
hmm
like, oh, that's actually
hmm
kind of nice. I like that
Yeah.
because he says, "Oh, your mom would have been proud of you." I was like, well, that's weird. And then he showed the picture. I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty neat twist. I'm glad that they actually held off on that until the ending
hmm
because I feel like if they had revealed that earlier, it just kind of would have been forced.
hmm
I like that she would. I like that he was helping her. Oh shit! I like that he was helping her. This chair's got to go. Um, he was helping her because he knew who she was. I did
hmm
like that because I was thinking that I was like, he's got to know who she is.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing too. I was like, he's calling this, the CIA, the specific line. He's got to know who she is.
Yeah. But
hmm
I mean, there's nothing really else much to add. Did you want to talk about anything we didn't?
Nah, not really. Another one of my highlights. I don't know if I personally touched on it, but I really loved the cinematography with the action, like how it looked,
Yeah.
the choreography, and then there's a sequence where it's a POV, and
Mhm.
I really like that as well.
Yeah, this is
So
definitely the best action of the three.
I agree. I agree. It has the
Even
best
though
action.
I might say I kind of prefer the third act of two to this one because I like how two is taking place during like this hurricane and he's sneaking
Uh
around
huh.
during the hurricane and all
Yeah.
that. I liked all that stuff.
I feel like with two, it's a little bit more intense too because there's some back and forth with them. This movie, he just taking them out.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was no like, oh, he might get shot or anything like that. Nah, he was just taking them out one by one.
I did like the ending where it shows him finally happy. I was like, that's
hmm
nice. And I
That's why I
said that
said, yeah. I was just saying that's where I hope they leave him, like right there, in this peaceful place, happy.
because most action franchises don't get good endings. Sometimes
hmm
they get a really bad last movie, or they just don't get a last movie.
hmm
So I'm glad that Equalizer got a good last movie. Um, Man, that is pretty much it. I think Anton Fuqua after this is going to do the Michael Jackson biopic
Oh
after this.
yeah, I forgot he was doing that.
So I sincerely hope he kills it with that because we've been asking for that for a while. But those are our thoughts on the Equalizer 3. If you saw, excuse me, if you saw Equalizer 3 this weekend, please let us know down below what you thought about it. What is your favorite Equalizer movie? What is your least favorite? I'll go real quick, ranking from worst to best. I would probably say two, one, and three probably. But 1 and 3 are very close. Like I could wake up tomorrow and be like, yeah, one is the best. I like them both about the same.
Mm-hmm. I do 1, 2, 3. I like 1 the most.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our final topic for today, the Blu-ray collection update.
Blu-ray
I did
collection.
not. I did a Blu-ray haul. Go check that out. But 2 of these will be from that haul, and the other 2 will be actual new releases that came out. Starting off with Batman. This was $9.99 at Best Buy because of this next movie that came out on 4K. So I went ahead and picked this up. I really enjoy the first Batman. I enjoy Batman Returns more, but I like this movie. It's really silly and goofy, but came out in the 80s.
Jack Nicholson, man. Jack Nicholson.
Uh, The Flash. Um, did not care for this movie when I first saw it. I've
Got it in
kind
a
of been
protector.
dreading. Yeah, I got all my DCEU slips and protectors. Um, did not care for this movie when I first saw it. I've been kind of dreading rewatching it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Maybe it'll be a Guardians 3 situation.
Um, Easily the best superhero movie this year. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 4K Steelbook. I absolutely adored this movie, and I just realized I have a scratch on my Steelbook. That's great.
Oh no.
It's tiny. You can't really see it, but yeah. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Absolutely loved this movie. Easily the best movie. Well, it's my second favorite movie of the year, but the best comic book movie by a landslide this year. I feel like the comic book movies that have come out this year have actually been very disappointing. But hey, the Marvels is coming out in 2 months.
Happy birthday to me.
How you like dumb apples? And the last physical media release that I am so happy to show off is the Sleepy Hollow 4K Steelbook. I'm gonna unbox this bad boy because this deserves all the special treatment.
Do it.
I actually feel like I got lucky on this because AJ put on a Blu-ray Hunter video today. Go check it out. They had none of these.
Yeah,
And
they were
then
all
at my
sold out.
store, they only had 2 of these, of which I got
Mm-hmm.
1. So I was like, and it said few in stock too. So I was like, maybe I got lucky. I don't know. I don't ever get lucky with physical media, but yeah, this is the front. See the headless horseman there.
Here.
There's the back. Uh, it's the full image, and then on the inside, you got the actual Sleepy Hollow book, which I do think this is the entire book, if I'm not mistaken. This is absolutely stunning beyond belief. And then you got the discs. I do not like that they stack the discs, but what can you do? There is a design under there. But yeah, this is without a doubt the best physical media release of 2023. This is absolutely stunning. And I haven't even seen this movie. This is something that I'm not mad I blind bought. This is absolutely worth $32. If every steelbook was like this, and I'm not saying every steelbook needs a book in it, but if every steelbook was on the caliber of this, I wouldn't be mad paying $30 per steelbook.
Mm-hmm.
Physical media.
Does it like close? Like it does it snap or no?
No, I
Okay.
wish, but it doesn't. It just.
Okay.
But this steelbook is absolutely stunning. But yeah, that's all the stuff I got. Once again, I did a haul. Go check that out. In terms of content from me, I finished off my David Fincher review series this past week. Gone Girl and Mank are on my page right now. Go check those out. And then today I posted my Ahsoka episode 4 spoiler review. Taking a break tomorrow, and then Friday we will be starting my Exorcist review series leading up to Exorcist the beginning.
Nice.
In terms of nerd talk, and next week we will be back talking about Ahsoka. I think we're just talking about,
Watch
or
along.
we're
It's
doing.
starting the Saw watch alongs.
Yes, we will be starting the Saw watch alongs leading up to Saw X at the end of the month. And that watch along will be on our new channel. We ran into some difficulties this yesterday trying to set that up, but we will be over there next week. So I will put the link to the channel down below. Thank you
Yeah,
to everyone.
hopefully we can get this particular video on the new channel for like a replay.
Yeah, we definitely, because we wanted this one to be the first one. But if
Mhm.
not, next week we'll have that and we'll all be there for the watch along. So that'll be great. But yeah, thank you to everyone so much for joining through in the chat. Please leave a like and subscribe to the chat. Well, subscribe to Alex's channel and then head on over to subscribe to our new Nerd Talk channel. Also follow our Nerd Talk Instagram page as well as all of our pages. All of that stuff is down below. And we are out on this one. Everyone have a great night.